Hey guys, it's Tika and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making some delicious cookies and cream cakesicles from scratch. So let's go ahead and get started. Here in a small bowl, I already have my cake flour and I'm just going to add to that my baking powder and my salt. And I'm just going to give this a little whisk, and don't worry guys, all of the ingredients will be listed down below. I'm going to set this off to the side and then I'm going to grab my milk, and I'm also going to add to this my vanilla extract, and I'm going to whisk this up as well. And then I'm going to set that off to the side. Then in a large bowl, I am going to take all of my butter and I'm just going to add that right in, and some vegetable oil. And some granulated sugar. And I'm going to whisk these three together until they are nice and light and fluffy, so about a minute or two. Then I'm going to add in 1 egg. I'm going to whisk that in just until we don't see any more egg streaks. And now I'm going to go ahead and start adding in half of my dry ingredients here. Mix that in just until it's combined. I'm going to add in all of my milk. And then I'm going to whisk that in. Now this is going to look really runny and just weird, but it's okay. Once we add in our second half of flour, it's going to come together. And now I'm just going to add in the rest of that flour. And I'm just going to whisk. Now here I have about 15 Oreos, and I've already decreamed them and ran them through a food processor to make them into fine crumbs. I'm going to add just a little bit into the batter here. And then I'm going to mix it just one more time, just a little bit. We don't want to overwork the batter. And this is actually good to go. You can bake this in the oven as a cake, or my personal favorite, cupcakes. I bake these up at 350 for about 17 minutes, and it'll yield you a nice small batch of cupcakes. I'm going to set that off to the side and start working on our frosting. So I'm just adding a few scoops of cream cheese frosting into that Oreo cream filling, and I'm just going to mix these guys up. I'm going to add in some more of these Oreo crumbs, and I'm going to give that a mix one more time. Here I already have about 2 cupcakes that I have ground into really fine crumbs, and I'm just going to add a few scoops of this frosting into there. I'm going to mix that up until everything is combined into a nice dough-like texture. You want it to be able to hold its shape really well. You want it to be moist but not too moist. You don't want it to be too dry. You want it to look about the consistency of Play-Doh. Then I'm going to head over to my chocolate station, and we are going to be using Tasty by Wilton candy mills today. I'm so excited about these. They are cookies and cream. I have never seen this before. I'm also going to be using my favorite Ghirardelli white chocolate and some Hershey's special edition dark chocolate. I'm going to melt this all down. And once everything is nice and creamy, I'm going to take some of this cookies and cream chocolate right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start filling up my molds. Now I have more in-depth detailed videos about how I fill my molds and work the chocolate around. If you're interested in those, I will leave them down below, but today we're just going to kind of run right through this whole tutorial. Then I'm going to take a popsicle stick, and I'm going to take some of this chocolate that has settled down into the bottom of the mold, and I'm going to run it up the edges. You want to do this after the chocolate has sat for maybe like just a minute, and it's kind of tacky, but it's not fully dry yet. And once you have done that, it'll reinforce the edges so that they are nice and thick and won't crack easily. And then I'm going to go ahead, while this is still kind of soft, and I'm going to add my sticks in. This mold happens to be really tight on the sticks, and I don't want to crack my cakesicles, so I just like to add them in now. I'm going to let this sit at room temperature to go ahead and harden. And once everything is good to go, I'm going to slide my sticks down and I'm going to start putting in that delicious cake filling that we made all by ourselves from scratch today. And using another popsicle stick, I'm just going to kind of smash it down so that I have some nice edges to work with along the sides. And I'm going to leave some space along the bottom near the stick so I can add a little extra security down there at the bottom. Like I said before, these sticks are really snug in this mold and I don't want to break my Cakesicle. So I've kind of come up with a little trick to kind of help me reinforce this area so that nothing cracks. Now that that's all done, I'm going to go ahead and start taking some chocolate and I'm going to run it right down that little gap that I left at the bottom and work it up the back of the Cakesicle to finish these off. And once I've done this, you want to make sure that you do give it a gentle tap. You don't want to break your Cakesicle to make sure that that chocolate is worked all the way down and around that popsicle stick. You can actually pop these in the freezer right now because they are good to go. And once everything is nice and chill, you want to carefully remove them from their mold and we are ready to decorate. We're going to do this really simple today since we spent so much time baking. I'm just going to take some of this white chocolate and at a diagonal point, I'm just going to run it up my Cakesicle. Then I'm going to take my special edition dark chocolate and I am going to go up my Cakesicle as well, right in between those white lines that I made earlier. I'm going to add a few little lines of Oreo sprinkles and then we're just going to finish these off. And that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe and I hope you try it out for yourselves. Thank you for hanging out with me today and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.